Central Catholic visiting number 4 Centennial. This game had Centennial's name on it from the get-go. Centennial's Eli Pardue is wearing Earl Campbell's number, and Pardue runs like Campbell too, 24 yards to make it 6-zip Centennial. A little while later, it's Pardue again. He followed the big block by Tim Marbury, and then Pardue was off to the races. That 34-yard scamper made it 14-0 Centennial, and this closed the show. Micah Dennis took the handoff, ran around the right side, and then stepped on the gas. 31 yards for the touchdown. Centennial handles Central Catholic 33-6. All right, this is upstart and 10th-ranked Tualatin kicking to Oregon City. They can't stop Tualatin's Dustin Staley. This made it 20-7 Timberwolves in the third quarter. This is Tualatin's first year in 4A ball. Most of these little daddies are Tiger transfers, so they know how to play football, boy. Ryan Sherman to Ryan D. Smith. This made it 26-7 Tualatin, but Oregon City hit the comeback trail, but the Pioneers could not go far enough. Tualatin hangs on for the 26-21 victory. Okay, to check out the rest of the little daddies, we call him the great bluesman Taj Mahal. So Debonair Dennis Decay, a little traveling music, please.
An interesting tonight, and it was a big night indeed. We start in Beaverton for the game against Glencoe. The second-ranked Beavers playing without starting quarterback Jake Gunderson. He's out with a cracked collarbone, but backup quarterback Max Brown did a fine job. Fires long for Jeff Cash. He's wide open. He's got the easy touchdown. Then later in the game, Brown is back to throw again, and how about this one? A little soft touch to Jimmy Woodworth. Makes a nice move here, and he is gone for the touchdown. Beaverton went on to win it easily. The final score was 21-0. Meanwhile, Centennial home to take on Central Catholic. Big night for Centennial's Eli Pardue. Up the middle for the touchdown, but he wasn't through. A short while later, he takes the handoff again. It looks like an instant replay. Same result. Pardue and the Eagles win it big, 33-6. And Tualatin home to take on Oregon City and catch the reception of the night. Watch number 22, John Bealey, bobbles it around, makes the grab, makes a nice move for the touchdown. Beautifully done for Oregon City, but Tualatin came back. Ryan Sherman to Ryan Smith for the touchdown. Tualatin went on to win it 26-21. Elsewhere in high school football, Benson over Lincoln 32-20. Franklin beat Grant. Roosevelt topped Jefferson. Marshall ripped Madison 41-6. Cleveland lost to Wilson. Sunset beat Forest Grove. Aloha fell to Hillsborough. Jesuit over McMinnville. Tigard by a dozen over Newburgh. David Douglas lost to Barlow. Gresham beat Sandy in overtime. Reynolds over Parkrose. Milwaukee by a touchdown over Putnam. Clackamas lost to West Lynn. Canby fell to Lake Ridge. Ashland will play at Willamette tomorrow night. Lebanon ripped Crescent Valley. South Albany lost to South Salem. And McNary wins a squeaker, and McKay walloped North Salem 30-12. In college ball, one game, Nebraska took care of
for you as well. We begin tonight in the Metro League. Number 2, Beaverton. As Koki said, looking to stay undefeated as they host Glencoe. Beaverton jumped out early. Jason Bell hit Max Brown streaking across the middle. He looked to be gone, but no, he stumbled on his own and fell. But that didn't matter because Bell hit a wide open Jeff Cash for the score a few plays later. That made it 7-0, and the Beavers cruised to shut out Glencoe 21-0. So number 2, Beaverton, the highest ranking team playing tonight, gets the victory, and they defeat Glencoe. The final score was 21-0. Beaverton now 5-0, 4 straight wins for Beaverton. Other scores for you. Sunset ranked number 3, also a big winner today. The Apollos also 5-0. Hillsborough beat Aloha 31-6. Jesuit over McMinnville 21-7. And Tigard records its first win of the year, stopping Newburgh 18-14. In the PIL tonight, Benson was looking to stay undefeated and atop the league against winless Lincoln. But the Cardinals came out in this one looking for the upset at Civic Stadium. And Lincoln scored first with this nice pass from Dan Roth into the corner of the end zone to David Kang. And after a two-point conversion, Lincoln led 8-0. Later, Lincoln driving again, but this time Kang fumbled, and Benson's Brent Fox recovered. And that led to this 6-yard scoring run by Robert Jameson, and Benson managed to hold off Lincoln 32-20. In a matchup of 3-1 teams, Madison hosting Marshall. The Senators' Doug Ashley with the pass to Mike Donahoe coming right at us. That set up a score, and Madison led 6-0, but it was all Marshall from then on. Second half, the big gain on this nice pass from Robbie Bune to number 11, an unidentified player who was not listed on the roster, but he gets inside the 15, and that led to a Minuteman score. They led 28-6, and later, the icing on the cake when Marshall's Jason Taylor, on his first run of the season, took it all the way for the score, and Marshall mauled Madison 41-6. The PIL results: Marshall defeating Madison. Benson now 5-0 with the victory over Lincoln. Franklin beat Grant. Roosevelt over Jefferson, and Wilson also 5-0, tied with Benson atop the PIL with a 27-0 pasting of Cleveland. We're just getting started on this special Thursday night edition of Sports Extra. When we come back, we'll check 3A action. We'll also go to the Three Rivers League, where both number 8 Canby and number 10 Tualatin look to stay undefeated. Stay with us.
This weekend before the
G.I. Joes, Pacific Office Automation, and Damerow Ford. Well, on Friday nights, usually we find Ron Carlson in Southwest Washington tooling around looking for the big games there. But Southwest Washington leagues will play their games tomorrow. But we wouldn't let Ron have the night off. No, we sent him out looking for some more big games, and you certainly found him, eh, Ron?
Stayed south of the border tonight, Lou, and saw a big shootout in Lake Oswego. The Pacers of Lake Ridge matching their passing attack against the running game of 8th-ranked Canby. Together, these two teams scored 73 points. Now, the Cougars scoring on their first 2 drives, and they both end the same way, just like this. That's Jason Stell. 2 stellar scores, one from 35, one from 36 yards out, 13-0 Canby. But Lake Ridge comes back like an old flame. John Crosswhite to Aaron Schmidt from the 7-yard line. The Pacers within 7. More work in the passing lanes on their next drive. 3 straight passes covering 77 yards. The final 36 on this catch by Brandon Reynolds, and he's off like a kid with a hot stereo. Lake Ridge, after he gets in there, within 1. Canby takes the lead back, but the Pacers come back again to pull off the upset. That's right, the Pacers knock off 8th-ranked Canby 39-34. At Tualatin, those undefeated T-Wolves using a familiar game plan tonight, a handoff and a cloud of Dustin. Dustin Staley packing the ball 42 times, 248 yards, 3 TDs. That one gives Tualatin a 20-7 lead in the third quarter. Still third quarter, and it's the Ryan Express. Ryan Sherman to another Ryan. Ryan D. Smith, a 53-yard airmail special. Tualatin up 26-7 after 3, but the Oregon City Pioneers make it closer than cellmates. Chris Pucci scoring one of Oregon City's 2 fourth-quarter TDs, but it's not enough. Tualatin goes to 5-0 with a 26-21 win. Running by those first 2 scores again for you, the T-Wolves over the Pioneers, the Pacers with the big upset over the Cougars. Elsewhere, Milwaukee goes to 2-2 in the Three Rivers with a win over Putnam, and West Lynn gets their first win of the year. Clackamas is still winless, but it does set up a big game next week, Lou, when Canby has to face Tualatin. That's going to be still a battle for first place in the Three Rivers.
Okay, Ron, but next week we'll send you north again, I think, okay? Well, we're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we'll go down to the valley. And also a huge matchup in the Mount Hood League with undefeated and 4th-ranked Centennial taking on 3-1 Central Catholic. We'll see what happened next.
this weekend before.
Number 4 Centennial trying to get to 5-0 with a matchup against Central Catholic, and it was all Centennial in this one. The 2-yard touchdown run by Eli Pardue made it 33-0 in the third quarter, but the Rams would not be shut out. The John Hoffman pass to Ron Perry put the ball deep in Centennial territory, and from there the Rams managed to punch it in. Mark Wellnitz finished the drive with the 1-yard TD plunge, but still, the Centennial Eagles still undefeated, defeated Central 33-6. Gresham visiting Sandy, both teams 3-1, and this was a barn burner. Sandy's David Carson blocked the Gresham punt and recovered it himself. And that set up Sandy's first score, a 7-yard run by Kurt Hanneberg. Sandy led 6-0 at that point, but this one went to overtime, and Gresham won it 24-20. That was a big game, and it ended in overtime with Gresham winning by 4. Fourth-ranked Centennial hoping to move up in the polls if someone can lose, but so far no one has. 33-6 the winner. Barlow stunned David Douglas. Barlow now 3-0 in the league, defeating David Douglas by 2. And Reynolds picked up its first win of the season, stopping Park Road.
Now you understand.
Oh, Canby for first place in the Three Rivers League. This is Canby's Pat Duchesne handing off to Jason Stelly, and Stelly ties the game at 14 in the first quarter. It was tied at 20, but then Canby's Duchesne went up top to Kevin Nauman, and the Cougars would go up 28-20, and this put the baby to bed. Canby's Duchesne scores on the keeper. Canby all over Tualatin, 42-26. All right, Marshall is trying to catch Wilson for first place in Portland. It's Marshall's Damian Martindale up the middle like Babe the Big Blue Ox, 7-0 Marshall. But then Wilson's offensive line went to work. Great day in the morning. Look at the size of that hole Jake Lancaster ran through. Rush could have run through that baby. Lancaster is gone, so Wilson ties Marshall at 7. Now, fourth quarter, Wilson puts it away. Jim Thorpe can fire that thing, boy. Thorpe to Nathan Lundby to make it 28-14. Wilson over Marshall, 28-14. Down in the Valley. The fight for second place in the Valley League. McNary at McKay. Scott Oloy barrels in to give McNary a 9-7 lead at halftime. Third quarter, and McKay comes back. Adam Jones tosses it to Jason Ribka. Check out the catch by Ribka. That set up a kick that made it 10-9 McKay. 13-9 McKay in the fourth when Ardell Bailey steamrolled a few dudes and took off. Ardell Bailey, no relation to Larry Bailey, ran 60 yards, and that did it. 27-9, McKay the final. Okay, a friend of ours, Portland's Lloyd Jones, helps us check out the rest of the Little Daddy, so Big Kevin Oliver, a little traveling music, please.
Time and raise a fuss, time and time again. When you come home late at night, I wonder where the world has been. Bird may fly and the heavens may roll, but when it's all said and done, you find out I'm just crazy about you. That's why I carry on. Small potatoes, that's all it is. But I tell you right here without me, if it was you I had to do without. I couldn't leave.
Biggest contest was 9th-ranked Tualatin against Canby in the Three Rivers League. Perry Cooper was there and has the highlights.
The fireworks lit up the sky and the field in Canby tonight. Tied at 7 in the first quarter. Tualatin's Ryan Schumann on his own 25 finds Ryan D. Smith, who breaks away for 75 yards and the touchdown. The Timberwolves led 14-7. The Cougars came right back with 2 straight scores. David Balby goes in from 12 yards here, and Canby led 21-20 at the half. With all that scoring, you would expect a 42-41 high-octane thriller. But in the second half, one team ran out of gas, and the needle pointed at their first loss. This time, the long ball belonged to the home team. First, Pat Duchesne finds Kevin Newman, who had a big night receiving. The Cougars scored 3 straight touchdowns. The last one, Duchesne to Sam Colliander. Canby shuts down Tualatin's big running back, Dustin Staley, for a 42-26 win.
They said in the paper, we're looking forward to Ashland. Looking right past us.
It was more or less they were saying that we were just a practice game for them, but, I mean, it worked for us, so we'll take it.
From Canby, Perry Cooper, News 8 Sports.
In the Metro League, it was second-ranked Beaverton at Tigard. Beavers quarterback Max Brown almost fumbles the snap, pitches to Jimmy Woodworth, and watch him go. He does the rest. How about this run? He'll go all the way, 65 yards for the touchdown. The Beavers, though, shut out Tigard by a score of 27-0. The other Metro Power is at home tonight. Sunset took on McMinnville. Lee Beckley long to Cameron Clayton. He's gone for 66 yards. The Apollos roll 24-7. Switching to the PIL, Marshall was at Wilson. Game tied 14-all. Jason Eilertson breaks loose. This score will go for 50 yards. Wilson looking very, very good. And then Jamie Thorpe will go long to Nathan Lundby for the touchdown. The Trojans win it by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. And the Quakers of Franklin were home to take on Madison. This is Derek Brame. He ran for 225 yards and 3 TDs. He's a heck of a runner, breaking tacklers all the way for the score. The Quakers come out on top, the final 28-20. Running down the rest of the scores, Grant beat Jefferson, Roosevelt ripped Lincoln, Glencoe over Aloha, Forest Grove fell to Hillsboro, Jesuit beat Newburgh, Sandy by 3 over Barlow, Reynolds lost to Centennial, no score in the Gresham game. Well, actually, we do have the score just in, 28-21 over Central Catholic. David Douglas buried Park Rose, Clackamas lost to Squeaker to Lake Oswego, Milwaukee fell to Oregon City, Lake Ridge beat West Lynn, West Albany fell to Lebanon, North Salem over Corvallis, McKay top McNary, Sprague shut out South Salem, and top-ranked Ashland blanked Crater. And
And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying up late with us. We're here for Sports Extra. Yes, it rained all day today, and a lot of those fields were wet, but the rain let up tonight, so there wasn't as much splishing and splashing as we thought we would see. We saw some good football, and we'll begin tonight with a battle for first place in the Three Rivers League. Undefeated and 9th-ranked Tualatin visiting 3-1 Canby, first place in that league on the line. Tualatin jumped to the lead in the first quarter on this 75-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Sherman to Ryan Smith. That made it 14-7 for Tualatin in white. Second quarter, here's Canby's big tackle Steve Casares leading David Balby in for the 12-yard touchdown run. The Wolves came back thanks to their star, Dustin Staley. We're talking about the T-Wolves of Tualatin. This 11-yard TD run brought them within 1 at the half, 21-20. Yes, a close game, but it was all Canby from there. Quarterback Pat Duchesne hit Kevin Nauman on this 12-yard scoring pass. And then later, Duchesne again, this time 38 yards to Sam Collender. That made it 42-20, and the fireworks began as Canby upset Tualatin and grabbed first place with a 42-26 victory.
No, they said in the paper, we're looking forward to Ashland. Looking right past us. Bunch of crap. We had to prove them wrong. We did it. We kicked their butt.
He's right. That's exactly what they did. Tualatin spanked by Canby tonight, 42-26. Canby wants to get back into the poll. Lake Oswego beat Clackamas by 1 in a defensive battle. Oregon City over Milwaukee 14-7. Lake Ridge pummeled West Lynn 20-16, and Crook County beat Putnam 30-21. Ron Carlson's been a very busy man tonight, normally in Southwest Washington. And in just a moment, we'll see what he has to say about the battle for first place in the PIL. Because of that, we sent him to the PIL to take a look at the Wilson Trojans. Ron?
Well, as you say, Lou, the battle for first place in the PIL did take place at Wilson High tonight. The undefeated Trojans hosting Marshall. The Minutemen coming in with just 1 loss. This one is tied in the third quarter, but the Trojans start chewing up the yards like a runaway rototiller. Jake Lancaster, 26 yards here to the Marshall 47-yard line. Then his running mate, Jason Eilertson, takes it from there, cuts through the Minutemen like a new pair of scissors, a 47-yard score. Wilson takes a 21-14 lead. On to the fourth quarter now, and the Wilson Air Corps goes to work. Jamie Thorpe to the corner. Nathan Lundby, the great leaping catch to come down with it just inside the end zone. That does it. Wilson stays undefeated with a 28-14 win over Marshall. On to Franklin High now, where Madison trapped deep in their own territory, but it only takes one play to get home. Doug Ashley to Robert Cavill. And you better call the bellhop, because this guy is checking out. It's a 97-yard score, 7-0 Madison after that one. But the Quakers answer right back. They'll hand it off to the kid who's like a runaway semi with no brakes. That's Derek Brame. And who's going to stop him? A 26-yard score here. Franklin gets even at 7. Then it's Brame busting through again. And again, this guy is just unstoppable. This time it's from 52 yards away. Franklin goes to 5-1 with a 28-20 win over Madison. All right, so Franklin takes over sole position of third place in the PIL with their win tonight. Wilson's win puts them a half a game ahead of Benson. The Tech men play Cleveland tomorrow. Grant has the general idea tonight. They beat Jefferson 21-8. And Roosevelt with their second win of the year. The Cardinals are still winless. So, Lou, looking for some splashes tonight, but the field's actually in very good shape in both games we were at. The guys' uniforms looking clean at the end of the game.
And that turned out to be kind of a surprise, I'd say, given the weather that we had tonight. But we'll see more from Ron in just a little while as we check in on what happened in Southwest Washington. We'll also get a wrap-up from Jerry Murphy in the Valley, and we'll check two important matchups in the Metro League in just a moment, where number 2 Beaverton and number 3 Sunset both tried to hold on to first place. More Ty Jones, Pacific Office Automation, and Damerow Ford. Welcome back, everybody. We shift to the Metro League now, where second-ranked and undefeated Beaverton faced a tough test tonight. Starting quarterback Jake Gunderson broke his collarbone and is out for the rest of the regular season. That forced the Beavers to go with backup Max Brown. And like their namesakes, the Oregon State Beavers, who have already used 4 quarterbacks this season, Beaverton did not miss a stride in making that switch. Tigard pulling out all the stops tonight, trying to upset the number 2 Beavers. But things backfired on 4th and 1 at their own 29-yard line. You saw Beaverton's Ben Mitchell with the stop. Beaverton cruised in this one. Jimmy Woodworth for the 3-yard bulldoze up the middle. 24-0 Beaverton, and the Beavers won 27-0. Number 3, Sunset, trying to maintain a share of first place, hosting McMinnville tonight. Lee Beckley hit Corey Goodfellow on the swing pass here, and Goodfellow took it deep into Grizzly territory, and that set up this, a 19-yard field goal by Chris Oliveria. The Apollos led 10-0, and they went on to maul McMinnville 24-7. Other scores in the Metro League tonight. Number 2 Beaverton and number 3 Sunset winning, as we showed you. Glencoe beat Aloha tonight 20-12. Hillsboro over Forest Grove 23-6. And Jesuit stopping Newburgh, the final score there 26-7. Jerry Murphy, as usual, down in the Valley. We were thinking we might have a lot of rain and slop tonight, but I think you had a dry night as well, Jer?
There was some wetness still on the field, Lou. It didn't affect play too much, but maybe a little bit in the first game we're going to tell you about. With first place Lebanon doing a number on West Albany, it was up to McNary and McKay to fight it out for sole possession of second place in the Valley. The visiting Celtics led McKay 9-7 late in the third quarter, and then the Scots exploded. The bomb from Adam Jones to Jason Ribka, 40 yards on the play. That sets up a field goal for a 10-9 McKay lead. Meantime, McNary could not do anything right. Out of punt formation, the Celtics can't handle the snap. That sets up another field goal, 13-9. Yet another McNary miscue sets up the game breaker. The handoff to big Ardell Bailey. Ardell breaks loose at the line of scrimmage, and look at the breakaway speed, 65 yards for the score. McKay improves to 5-1 with a 27-9 blowout. Another matchup of playoff hopefuls had South Salem at Sprague. The Olympians would score on the opening possession of the game. The inside handoff to Adam Tang. The long gainer up the sideline. Only one touchdown this game, and Sprague scores it. South had trouble holding the ball. The Saxons on the march, but the drive is killed by a fumble. Mike Long recovers for Sprague, and the Olympians are now 4-2 after a 7-0 win over South Salem. The Saxons are now 3-3. Now to the scoreboard. There is number 8 Lebanon doing its thing on West Albany, 20-7. North Salem 36, Corvallis 20. Next up we have McKay beating McNary 27-9, as we showed you, and again Sprague 7-0 over South Salem, and Crescent Valley 34, South Albany 14. To the Southern League, number 1 ranked Ashland 36, Crater nothing. Number 5 Grants Pass 14-0 over South Medford. Eagle Point shut out by North Eugene 27-0. North Medford 35, Roseburg 6, and Klamath shuts out Mazama 27-0. And so far, Lou, it looks like Lebanon is shutting out the Valley League. 6-0 for the Warriors. They're on the march.
Easily our team to keep track of in the Valley as we get close to the playoff time, which really is only a couple of weeks away. Thanks, Jerry. Well, still much more to come tonight. Ron Carlson will take us on his weekly tour of Southwest Washington. Also, the Mount Hood League, Gresham look to hold on to their share of first place against tough Central Catholic. We'll be right back. In league play, faced getting knocked out of first by Central Catholic tonight, so a big game at Civic Stadium. The Rams down 21-7 late in the third when Johnny Rask threw that 20-yard touchdown pass to Ron Perry for the Rams. Fourth quarter now. Central's Tim Rust with a 4-yard touchdown run, a 2-point conversion, tied the game at 21. Then, late in the game, the Rams driving again, but this time Rust fumbled the ball, and Gresham recovered. First place on the line on the drive coming up. 7 plays later, the Gophers carry lead. Took it in from 2 yards out. Gresham holds on to a first place after a close call from Central Catholic. The final score, 28-21. Other scores in the Mount Hood League: Sandy over Barlow, 20-18. Fourth-rated Centennial continues to roll, hammering Reynolds tonight, and David Douglas shellacked Park Rose 56-0. Ron Carlson double duty tonight. He's been following things in the PIL for us earlier, and also on what's going on in Southwest Washington. Boy, that Kelso team looks